Map 1 went all 30, but EG closed it out in the end. They were down 14-13. They won it 16-13 in 14 in the end. I'm Boggs, joined by Pineapple Phillips, and this is the map pick of the Evil Geniuses. They're starting on the T side of Overpass, but they love the T side of Overpass. 56.3% win rate on the T side in the last 3 months. 7-2 record. And, well, it's going to be a tough time for the Timbermen here. They got a double dual Beretta setup, though no defuse kit to speak of, and one flashbang in the hands of Droid. But they're going to have to deal with the Glocks. The Glocks up close and personal. Walco has some util to use as well for the Evil Geniuses, and they're waltzing in towards A. Only a jump spot towards this site for Timberman in the form of Snav. He can be removed quite easily, and he's already been spotted.
Difficult spot to be in, back behind Daiso. Fall away. He's lucky to stay alive. In fact, he's actually sticking around more than you would expect. Going out on a limb like that, very lucky to be alive. Bomb plant comes down though. EG don't press the issue. Instead, they wait for the rotations to come through. Double dualies, keep that in mind. They're going to try an entry in. One taken down. Frankie, though, does have more success. I say that Hex drops Droid, though, with a nice one tap. 3 versus 3. The dualies are still in play. Hex, though, 3 and 4. He's on for the 8th. He finds it. What a sensational start for the new addition onto the EG side of things. 5 kills in spectacular fashion, no less. And EG out the gate sprinting, riding the high of the victory on map 1.
Hex, we said it in the pregame. Too good for ECL. I think he showcased it right there, just destroying single-handedly, taking all the 1v1 duels, stuck on Optimus. He doesn't even need help from the Autobots. He rolls out himself. He puts out the call. No reinvestment from Timberman EG. 2 MAC-10s, 2 AKs, and 2 Galils and an AK. Bit of utility as well. B-stack from Timberman and EG are going to take their time and work around the map. Not going to want to run into anything here. Want to avoid the stack, and wisely so. They're making the right call. They're going the right way, but if Timberman decide they want to go and stack A instead, they still have some time to do so. Good flash Walco, but he gets stuck on the bench. Jumps around. Rush clearing up sands, and will actually go down into connector. As EG are taking their sweet time. They did burn 50 seconds off the clock, and they still haven't even gotten halfway up lane.
Don't want to walk into the stack. I can definitely relate to that. And slowly clearing it out with utility. They know they're going to run into like 5 pistols somewhere. They want to do it cleanly. As cleanly as can be asked. They'll enter into the site using their utility, doing their due diligence, clearing everything out. It is an empty bomb site. No questions there. So the 4 USPs and the 1 Deagle will begin the ascent over towards A. Bomb plant towards the truck. I believe it's in the rock as well if it gets measured. Walco walking in towards bank. We'll find the first kill. That's the Deagle dropped as well. That was the only lifeline Timberman had in this one. The other 4 remaining players are all the way down towards B at this point, hoping that someone walks into the crosshair, but EG probably not going to give them that kind of duel.
I don't think so. Maybe they send the MAC-10s in to get a little bit of extra cash, but they don't necessarily have to peek. They don't necessarily have to push. It's more of a do they want to sort of deal. They don't need to really worry about it at all. Walco sees nothing. Hides. Stays alive. 9 will survive here in round number 2. Not necessarily something you'd normally see. But now Timberman will invest. M4's out. No op for Dare. That's a bit unfortunate for them. They'd love to get the op out early. But it's a full bonus for EG. And this is where things can get a little dangerous for the Timbermen. If they're unable to get anything going early on the CT side, they can find themselves very far behind before they can actually recover.
Very deep hole. And if EG win this round, really, the economy becomes bounteous. The op comes out. I'm pretty sure Junior looked like an absolute raid boss yesterday on this map with the big green, so that is a very scary prospect indeed. MAC-10s again doing their slow walk over across the map. Walco is one of them. He's in towards connector, holding with the Deagle rather than the SMG. It's that stopping power in a surgical duel like that. Timberman, they don't have a kit, and they're already lacking a bit on utility. Only flashes and smokes remaining. If EG continues to play at the pace they are, could just absolutely leave Timbermen with nothing but an option to face check.
Snav. Looking for that first pick. Has to be careful not to isolate himself. Does have Dare somewhat with him, but Dare's also got his own problems to worry about as pressure comes in from long. Good win from Snav. Dare cannot get the kill, and Snav comes up empty on the second time of asking. Hexton rushed the first couple kills, and Rush is going to continue pushing forward. He's so low, but he still might be able to get one. Shane runs right into him back first. And Rush tries to get the M4, has to go back to the Mac Daddy. The bomb's going to tick away, and Timbermen going to run away. They cannot afford to lose these last two guns. EG will have a 3-0 start with a good chance for a fourth, as they still are on the bonus round. Rush will get rid of the Mac 10, pick up a Galil. What a response from EG on their map pick. Junior does fall, but it's just worth hunting the guns for EG at this point. It's worth a lot more to take even one of these guns out of the hands of Timbermen than it would be to even keep one player alive for the EG side. Nade, not enough. George won't just die for fun, though. He'll make sure he doesn't give anything up for free. Wise call, but Junior's got his op. And Timbermen, how much do they invest around these rifles?
Great question. We're at that point, as you mentioned, where EG can very quickly build the lead. Timbermen can't really afford to let that happen. But they're going to go for the conservative call. We praised them for it on map number 1. We'll praise them again for it here on map number 2. I say this is the smart call. Early enough in the game where you can come back later on. You don't want to screw yourself economically out the gates. It's 2 Deagles, 1 set of Kevlar, destroyed. Entering out with the FAMAS dutifully. Both rifles just running it down over towards long. They find 2 for 1. That is a very, very bold call. It does pay off in the early goings. The Deagle of Shane as well chimes in. Hexton Jr. find a kill apiece, but Frankie claps back in the meanwhile, leaving just Junior. He had the op, now he has the AK. But he's a 1 versus 2 rifled opponents.
But this is doable for Junior, especially with the bomb on his back and the time available. He can pull this one away. But this is a round EG have really put themselves in a bad spot on. They just... They take some unadvantageous fights, they split up, and Junior's gonna meet Shane. Nice kills from him and Frankie. And EG, that's a round they'll want back for sure. The investment on Junior alone, he's at 1650 in cash. It's just not good enough. This long duel from Droid, able to get that first, and then Frankie coming up with the next couple of kills. Just really helps solidify the round for the Timbermen. And they make do with nothing, and that's a bit of a shocker here. That's something EG really can't allow to happen.
No, it's shock and awe. Again, running it down long with 2 rifles, trading out, going from there, snowballs it. That's a round they steal away from EG. That's a round that potentially could shake their confidence as well. EG's buy now is the one on the back foot. They have a Mac 10 for Walco. They're lacking a lot of utility. They do have the big green at bat once more for Junior. The issue is they have one on the other side of the equation to worry about as well in Dare's hands. And we'll see if Dare has warmed up, if Dare is ready to go toe-to-toe with Junior on Overpass.
It's definitely a better opping map, and he was very solid on the CT side of Mirage. Dare definitely can pull something off here. Might get tested by George. But Dare's going to close the gap. He seems to expect somebody here. Oh, he swaps back. He goes for the knife swap back to the op to avoid the unscoping sound. He'll post back up again. Rush, in the meantime, took some contact and a lot of damage. Down by 80 HP.
The second scope was heard, though. George definitely heard the scope.
He knows.
Walk-up con, though. It's actually the player up close. George speaking in is spotted, taken down. Dare as well spotted the second player in connector. He'll be pressed, but the utility support is here. Snav finds one. Walco, sure, he'll take down Dare, but Snav is there to find a second in response. 2 versus 4, Junior and Rush. Rush is on low HP, as you mentioned. Probably going to be a save with 10 seconds left.
Another T-side save for EG, this time on Overpass. And once the guns have come out for Timbermen, they've looked pretty solid. I mean, yeah, the first gun round wasn't great. But number 2, this one here, very good. Dare's starting to show up a little bit. Gets the leg shot on the second player, but overall, having impact and buying time, more importantly. EG going to go all in on this investment, though. Tech 9 for Hext. George on the Galil. AK for Rush. Of course, that's saved. Walco on the Mac 10. Junior with a little bit of utility. What's he really going to be able to do in this round? He's going short with the op alone. Okay, he's got help, but this is still a very aggressive position with the op. He's got to be careful not to get plucked away.
Very careful. Support from the boost. Shane spotted, tagged down to 20. Not taken down. That's the important factor. Slink away in the meanwhile. Been finally swapping, or Evil Geniuses, sorry, swapping things up finally, looking towards B, but not outright committing. They've been just running their standard setup. 2 towards A, 3 towards B. Junior. So much hinges on this op. So much hinges on his entry. We talked about it in the pregame. He's not known for his entries on the op, but he's not necessarily averse from going for them either.
I would like to see George go in with a flash from Junior. Maybe have Walco go in first. George trade it out because Walco has the Mac 10. I think that would probably be the best course of action given the firepower available. Rush seeming to lead the charge, though. Ready to go in for EG as time ticks down below the 30-second mark. Dare scopes in, crosses over to barrels and tucks away. Rush with the entry. Junior with another one. George goes down. Rush doubles down, but Droid and Dare isolated. Dare has to hold it all alone. He's picked up one, but he's been circumnavigated by Walco jumping up top. But he's going to get taken out by Droid as the Mac 10 cannot do anything at that range. Junior's low, but it does not matter. Op wins the duel. 4th on the board for EG. Long time coming to get it done in the end. And it goes down to kind of a death ball, a little bit of utility into the site. Getting those entries from Rush was critical. And the mop-up job from the rest of the squad doing well. Junior with the first, or the second kill of that entry frag, and then the last one as well. Good work from EG, and Timbermen, unable to establish a strong economy, are going for an incredibly awkward buy. An M4 heavy investment from Frankie, minimal M4 investment from Snav, a Deagle, a 5.7, and a USP on Shane.
Where are the rifles playing? Are they deathballing again? No. One's a connector, one's towards A. But they are pressuring very aggressively. You can tell they're already kind of figuring out that at this point EG have to be going over towards B. They are pressuring as he is. Walco's going to walk right into him. Walco taken down for free. Rifle, or Mac 10, excuse me, not recoverable, but still, that's a lot of information and an early kill for this CT side. Oh!
Ooh, that's a nice shot from Dare. Traded out, but still, that's some good damage emotionally and otherwise. Junior levels it up to a 3v3, but Snav creeping up through Khan. He's going to get caught, though. Good read of the situation by Rush. Moving it just down to Shane and Droid. They're stuck on B. Bomb's going to make its way towards A. Should be fine here. George down in Khan. EG have to be careful not to get isolated from each other. There needs to be trade potential at the very least. George just making sure nobody's coming up through connector once again. Shane and Droid going up towards that T-spawn area. George is just throwing bait utility at this point over towards B. Shane sees it all. He knows what's happening. He's seen the end of the book here. They're going to go on the flank as EG taking it very low on time. About 20 seconds to go. They still haven't crossed onto the side proper. Gun and a second for Timbermen. Droid has armor too, and the way he's been playing tonight, EG cannot rest.
They cannot, but I think these rifles will be saved. Talking about Frankie specifically, he bought down to 700. He's going to need a rifle in the following to get a very solid buy on the board. It would behoove them to save these rifles for the following. Junior is holding in case any sort of late round shenanigans come through on the flank, but of course none are. It's going to be a 5th on the board for EG, and you mentioned they are a T-sided team on this map. What was it? 57% of the rounds come on this T-side. You would expect 8 off of that kind of stat line, but given just their overall comfortability on this map compared to Timbermen, I would expect 9 or maybe even 10 in the favor of EG here. So thus far, things have been going as expected.
So far, yes, for the most part, according to plan for EG, although they could have had it a lot cleaner. And I think they would have liked it a lot cleaner. But the thing about Timbermen, too, they can always pop off with some serious kills. You can never let your guard down against this team because they can and will punish you. They're going to buy up again. I need to see Dare activate, though. I need to see Dare up there as that Storm man. The man with a 1.18 rating. The man with a 1.3 impact. 80.9 ADRs in Opper. 46 multi-kills higher than his next nearest teammate. That's the Dare that needs to show up in this server right now.
Just dare to hit the shot, let's be honest. He's playing around towards the bathrooms, far less dynamic than he was on map number 1. Keep in mind he was on A, on B, everywhere and anywhere in between on Mirage. Not the case here on Overpass. He's still in the bathrooms. I was gonna say he's gonna have some success here, but George walks into the crosshair and finds the headshot. Snav will trade, sure, but losing your star like that right off the rip has to hurt. And a 4 versus 4 does favor the T's. However, Snav, he's gonna spot the butt of Rush, finds the kill as well, and slinks back into the smoke. To add insult to injury. I don't think Junior's going to catch him on the crossing either, not with that flashbang. Or does he? Never mind. A flick from Junior ties things right back up. And Frankie is low on HP as well. 3 versus 3. EG look to go towards A. And it is currently an empty bomb site. It's going to be a 3 versus 3 retake for Timbermen.
Molotov ready to go. Bomb not yet down, so Timbermen are already beating it here. But finally the bomb goes down. The Molotov a little too far. Plus I was supposed to ward off the plant, but that's way too late. Good nade onto Hext's position on Dice. But all 3 Timbermen players coming the same general vicinity. Either bank or jump up. 2 jump up, 1 bank. Hext on site has to fight his way out. 1 big one, and a second from Hext. He's playing on fire, swings out wide. Frankie's crouch throws him off, but Walco will not be abated. 6-2 now in the favor of the Evil Geniuses on the T side of Overpass. They're continuing to put up some numbers here. And George hasn't even had to do all that much, which is a scary thing for Timbermen when arguably the best rifler on the Evil Geniuses squad is not having to do all that much. Hext picking up so much of that slack right now. And Junior popping off as well. Rush having a very solid performance across these 2 maps too, which is good because he didn't have the best start to the season of ECL. Definitely starting to pick things up here in the playoffs. And pistols up for Timbermen. 5-7, Deagles on 4, nade, a couple of vests. 3-2 setup. EG dry contact out of Monster? I mean, the way Hex is playing, I can see it. I don't hate it.
This early as well. This early. Normally they wait so long. This is a really big change of pace. Honestly, I would love to see it more so in a rifle round, but I can see it working here and now. Rush will find one on Droid probing over towards short. And that will prompt the rest of EG to kind of just fall away. They know that Timbermen are spread out. Now I want to reassess the situation, especially since they realize it's pistols. Dare towards connector, drops George. That is a big one to find, and I think that's a rifle recoverable as well. Yes, it is. This is where things can get scary. They need to drop Dare. They need to maintain the advantage, EG, or things can unravel again like they did in that last half-buy round.
Yeah, they pumped the brakes, and it seems like indecision is harming EG right now in these sorts of rounds. Sometimes you just got to make a move. And Dare has made one. He's picked up Rush. Shane will do what he can here to hold the line. He's got a friend in Frankie. He's sitting back, Optimus. Frankie, opportunity, strikes on 1, and Shane's got the second. It's a collapse again by EG. They fall to the ground. It's the broken buy that salvages things. And at this point, Junior needs to be careful not to die after time because they have to know where he is. They're going to hound him. There's no reason to save. He does get one. And now he'll get pushed on by Dare. Checks the right direction. Slow on health. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Safe, yes. Nick of time, but EG have to find a way to shore up on these sorts of anti-half buys, anti-ecos. You can't be losing these kinds of rounds. Riot Squad lost at Global Challenge Finals because they lost too many rounds like that.
Yeah, they got control, not control necessarily, but they got out of Monster. They got a kill towards short. They should have just kind of committed from there. I think they overthought things. They thought it might be a stack towards B and wanted to look elsewhere, but that loss towards connector should have really spurred them in. Should have made them realize that it was going to be a spread out half-buy situation. Either way, EG will scrounge together what they can going into this one. They have an op, they have 3 AKs, they have a Tech 9. The op has been traded. Good play from Dare, but on an island he cannot find a second. He's caught by Walco, posted on the angle. And EG looking to make it more of the same, looking to clap back instantaneously. 4 versus 2, the last 2 remaining, Shane and Droid over towards B. They will pressure through Monster, sure, but I don't think they're going to attempt this one.
That push from Dare was a little overzealous, though. He's got the trade. They know where he is. Logically, you're not going to swing the op in that position, so you're going to hold for a push. And Dare walks right into it. Shane and Droid now on the outside looking in, saving what they have. A pair of A4s, a molly, 2 smokes, 2 flashbangs, 2 kits, some armor. But as soon as Timbermen get any ground, EG just swipe right back. They're almost like your cat, Nate. Timbermen get a little friendly, they get around to the board, and then whap! They get smacked.
Thank you for that reference, Boggs. I bear many
welcome.
scars from that cat. Ungrateful. These 2 will survive, Shane and Droid. As will the 4 players of EG. That will help them bolster their economy as well. I didn't really highlight it, but EG were on the cusp of being reset there. They only just scrounged together enough to get a buy in that one. They still have an opportunity. If they can somehow sweep the rest of this half, it would be 12-3. And there's a big opportunity here. If EG win this round, they will break Timbermen's economy. That would give them an 8th and then more than likely a 9th. Although, given how the half buys have gone, Timbermen could theoretically win it. In fact, I would say Timbermen have won more half buys than regular rounds at this point.
They have, yes.
And Dare,
which is not good.
It's not. And Dare again is just running it down towards long with the open hand. Trying to clear as many angles as possible. Too many to worry about though. George, good adjustment. He knows it's a possibility. He finds the kill. He drops the op. And that is exactly what EG need to find an aim.
I mean, there's a trade back here, so an opportunity for Timbermen in this 4v4. They found a way to at least even the score line. But EG have Junior alive. They have EG.Walco and Rush as well. And Rush having con control. Could try and catch Timbermen if they push out towards short. Nobody will just yet. Rush will go for the spam. Clears out one angle. EG split 2-2, but Walco grouping up with the main squad. Heading back towards A. Not having to deal with Dare is going to be a lot easier for EG as they go towards the A take. Another thing to note is Droid has completely cooled off. He is solidified. If he was molten lava in that first map, he's hardened up into rock now.
Lava flow has frozen. This is a big duel fight. He's at trash. Walco swinging in, misses the shot. Snav as well chimes in. That's a nice little combined fire operation there. 2 kills. Junior does find a trade, sure, but advantage swings the way of Timbermen. George, he wants to bail them out. He'll find one on the site. He'll secure the A site for the plant. But this flank from Droid, it's so well timed. He'll drop Junior. He's coming alive when needed most. 8 seconds left. George has to stick the plant. He'll try to do so, but Shane swings. Shane gets the kill, and Timbermen steal away yet another 4-7 as they will not go quietly into the night.
They won't go quietly into the night, but they're still a far cry away from at least getting this half to a reasonable number. See what the buy is going to be. That's just a miss from Walco. That double stack works out well. And George, too many different angles to watch. Can't cover everything for Junior to plant. George has the AK. He forced it, and he's on a hero AK here. Everybody else pistols. 2 P250s, 2 Desert Eagles. Only utility on George himself. Very interesting call. It's not the first time we've seen EG Black do this kind of a play, though. Get George on a rifle, everybody else on pistols. It can do damage, but it's difficult to see it get significant round victories out of it.
Look at this play from Timberman as well over towards B. They've got water control. They've pressed the player all the way up to Monster now. That's Droid. They know it's not B. They're going to rotate 4 up towards A. And this half buy / gamble buy for George, it's going to have a lot of work to do. And it left in the round. They're all here. It's so well read from Timberman as well.
Oh, yeah.
There's not a chance. Unless George does something miraculous, like that 3K entry on Mirage. It's going to be a difficult one. Dare misses the first, not the second. He finds that. Tags Hexed as well. Junior with the P250 does find one, but Frankie and Dare mop things up, finding 3, finding 4 between them. It is a 5th on the board for Timberman. And again, looking like they're actually finding their footing at this point. So they're finally figuring out the EG defaults.
They're starting to figure out the EG defaults. They're starting to find the ways in. They're getting some good kills across the board. The individuals are starting to come online, but is it too little too late, or do they have what it takes to get this half and then carry that momentum over on towards the T side, too? It's a big question mark. We see EG on the buy, though. That was a round of a hero rifle. This is where the task really gets tough again for Timberman. George on a Tech 9, sure, but everybody else is their guns. Minimal utility, though, for EG. Could cost them. 2-2-1. 2 towards B, 2 in con, 1 towards A. Passive fountain play from George. And there's the first domino to fall. Shane gets picked off by Hexed. Good flash from Junior. And now some room to move for EG. Still leading George up towards A as well. Trying to be a nuisance, be distraction. Peek from Dare, and Hex destroys him. Hits him with a bing bong. And a double man advantage for EG Black as Timberman struggling to hold on to a round. Struggling to string things together. Need a lot. Need a hero. Desperate. They need, I would say, at least 6 rounds, if not 7.
They do. And they're desperate, you can tell. They're kind of just peeking into angles, hoping to find a kill, and that's not the way to do it. X finds one. Droid does offer some resistance, sure, but in the meanwhile, George drops Snav over towards A. It leaves just Droid in a 1 versus 4. No horse in this race at this point. He'll find a second. That gives him a little bit of confidence. That op was blown away by a frag grenade thrown by his teammate earlier on. He's not going to recover it there. Not even flown over the wall, and Rush doesn't even want to give him that. Rush rushes through the door, finds the kill, and the 8th for EG as well.
Half victory secured for EG. Just looking for a little bit more to get this one over the line. And there's that Tech 9 from George. Does its job. He's lurking. He gets his pick. EG back on the board. Pistols for Timberman, but I think this is a round where I'm almost ready to say Timberman are going to win it because of how well they've done in these sorts of rounds, or shall I say how poorly EG have done against these sorts of buys. Because when you win a round like this, it's kind of both teams. Yes, you did well. The other team also didn't do great. At EG, they're walking to the stack. Surely not again. George with 1, Walco and Hex having more. Only Dare so far to find a kill, and it's all Dare now. USP in hand. And it looks like finally EG can dismantle the stack. They will. Good 3-piece from the in-game leader. And 9 rounds to EG, looking to knock up double digits before they head to the half. What a half that would be for EG. 10-5 would be magnificent. But it's still a far cry from closing out this one. A buy, last ditch from Timberman. FAMAS M4's utility. But they do lack something that costs $400 and makes their life a lot easier. Oh, they do. Oh, they got on Android. Okay.
I will also say, I do like that from EG, the no respect play over towards B. because we've seen how they can overthink things. We saw it happen against the last pistol round. That's what lost them it. They kind of spread out across the map, and that's what gave the pistols the one-on-one duels. Just go in as a unit. You know they're on a light buy. Go from there. Build your confidence as a squad. Simple as. 9-5, looking to make it 10 as well, as you mentioned. Junior has the op in hand. There's no op for Dare to challenge either. Again, it's pressure. Timbermen are uncomfortable. They're desperate. They're trying to find openings. They're trying to force the issue. And it's not working on this map. It might have worked on Mirage, but it won't work on Overpass. As Dare is caught for free on an island. No possibility for a trade either. And EG, once again, they get the main advantage walking right into their lap.
Well, the thing is, Overpass and Mirage are two fundamentally different maps. It's a nice little flash peek from Droid. Gets George from behind, and that's an AK upgradable. But Stab is going to fall to Haxed Rush, traded out by Shane, but Walco returns the favor, 3v2 to EG's favor. Bomb going to go down on B as Frankie runs down. Droid all the way up long, has a long way to go to get back towards the site. Bomb finally going down as the two players are ready to retake. They do have the kit on Droid. 2 Molotovs and an HE. This is doable. Timbermen, they have to get the mollies in the right spot. They have to hit the shots. Nade goes in, does nothing. Last 2 utility pieces are flames. One goes into the pit. Clears out one hard angle to clear. Another one goes short, but now the time is ticking. They have to close the gap with that smoke, with the mollies down. Hexed with one. Last man standing's Frankie, swinging around the pillar, looking for one. He's got both, but he does not have the kit, and it's far away. He doesn't have time. He doesn't have a prayer. He doesn't have a way to win. It will be a 10th as Walco seals the deal. 10-5 EG as they get into the half here with a massive lead going into what could be the last half of this round of the playoffs, the opening round of the North American ECL playoffs for season 44. What a performance from the Evil Geniuses.
Kind of what we expected. We did see some shining moments from Timbermen, but for the most part, it has been an EG map. And honestly, I don't think Timbermen have what it takes going into the second. It feels like EG have been the team that's been more at home on Overpass.
Well, we'll catch you for half 2 in just a moment. Well, if you're just joining us, EG with a narrow victory at map 1, 16-14, the pick of the Timbermen, but up here on Overpass, they thrashed Timbermen on the T side with a 10-5 start. It's Boggs and Pineapple Phillips on the call, and this could be the last half here, unless Timbermen have something left up their sleeve. But EG were able to counter everything. Timbermen looked uncomfortable, they looked out of sorts, and they looked like they were getting desperate. And desperation does not work in this game. You have to play to your own game plan. Timbermen fell away from that, and that gave EG double digits on that first half. They don't have any dual Berettas, nor do they have a kit. But they do have a good amount of utility here on the CT side. They might just have the opening kill if Walco can land the headshot, but he's getting harassed back to bank. And he's going to have to wait for his rotations.
He's going to try to wait. They're already pressuring him down. They're planting for bank. He is lucky to stay alive. The issue is these Glocks are so deadly up close, and there's no dually to challenge them. Shane finds one, Shane finds two, Snav a third, and a fourth. It's just Walco. He was the one player holding on the A-site, now left alone, and he'll only find one. That's not enough resistance. That's not nearly enough. Timbermen, they had to come out the gates chopping, and they do swing and hit their mark in the pistol round of half number 2. That was the bare minimum, though. That's required. The second and third rounds, I think, also required for them to come back into this one.
Second and third, and then a little bit more. EG going to force, though. 2 5.7s, 2 Deagles, and the Scout for Junior. He'll be looking to get the tags. Everybody else will be looking for the frags. Putting Timbermen on the body bags. 4 Galils, though, for Timbermen. If one or two of those gets picked up for EG, it can turn into a very dangerous situation. But Shane spots the shoulder of Walco, gives him a cranial cave-in. That's a good start for Timbermen here. Not taking it slow, but not taking it too fast. A good balance on that opening pick. And hey, Deagle for Dare, he'll use that maybe. Or just keep a hold of that like a souvenir in the round. As Timbermen have some time to play around with things, but thanks to that pick.
Yes, they do. Slow things down, look around, reassess the situation. Bomb is still towards T-spawn. Still can go either direction. EG are going to make a mid-round play, though. They want to find a way back into it. They want at least information. So they'll press a little bit towards the bathrooms. 2 present, a third on the A side as well. Leaves just Hexed on an island towards B. And, well, it looks like the majority of the T side forces are grouping up towards B. Hex has had a heck of a map thus far. But he's going to have to play out of his mind with the 5-7 if he wants to win this round for his team.
It's not unthinkable. The 5-7 is incredibly potent. But it would have to be something beyond the realm of reasonable possibility. We'll see what Hexed is capable of here as the push is coming through from Timbermen. Hex swings out, does get the first of the wall, swings for more, but he gets greedy. George, however, trades as rotations have come down. George still alive around the pillar, and he can't get more, but Rush has picked up one of those Galils, and that's the danger. Shane, however, finds the last 2. And saves the day for the Timbermen. But look how many players they lost. Only one surviving. Danger territory economically, and EG will save this round. Obviously, they lost it. They can still get some pistols upgraded behind this and maybe grab a couple more kills and do even more damage to that T-side economy as they're looking to get the op on Junior, the rifles across the board, and post up on defense and try and push this one to a victory.
Can't really expect the P50s to do too much here. Straight aggression, no fear towards B from Timbermen. This is a big change of pace. They'll find one. Second, a third. Pistols really can't find much, even with the stack. It leaves just Junior. P250 in hand against the world. He might be able to find one on Dare or Frankie, but beyond that, I don't think so. Oh, just hold for exits over towards Monster. Hope for someone to walk into his crosshair. But it is going to be an 8th for the Timbermen side.
One kill. Not too bad. I mean, it's better than nothing. It's also not ideal. Timbermen, though, they only lose that 1 Mac 10. They'll get Frankie on a rifle. Dare on an op. Will Droid invest as well is a big question. Hex just gets flashed off. Molotov kill coming through. Overall, not too much to write home about. So the 2 Mac 10s will stay up. Snav and Droid will hold on to those. They're giving Frankie the AK, which is understandable. It's not going to be like Zeus of old, who would leave Simple on a Deagle when he had an AK in hand. They'll give the star player the rifle to do the most damage. That nade does absolutely 0 damage to Timbermen. That could have been a chunky one, too, if it would have landed. Unfortunate start. Junior has the op. It's a 4 stack towards B from EG. Very interesting call this early on, just leaving Walco to solo away with no real aggression shown towards Fountain, allowing Timberman all this time and space to move.
And a lot of respect, a lot of freedom. Those MAC-10s will race forward, taking as much space as possible. Keep in mind they're really deadly up close and personal. This long-range duel, though, was a very different affair. It's a very interesting off-angle from Walco as well. I don't know if this is a read into a tendency or what exactly the play is here. Looking for a boost up on the flower pot. It will come through. The op is there. It's head spotted, or is it Walco? There we go. Spots the player, doesn't get the kill. He'll tuck in and throw a smoke. Hopefully. Molotov forces his hands. He'll throw it down. Second, though, prevents him from crossing. This is a very ugly situation for them. Junior's trying his best to support. He will find one while blinded through the smoke, but Dare in response finds the kill onto Walco, and Droid drops Rush. It's a straight A play now, and the site has been vacated. George, Hexton Jr. have to do their best to retake it. You have the flank as well coming in from Hex, but they lack utility, and they lack the kit.
It's a save call from EG. And the only call to be made here. There is one subsequent call that needs to be made from EG. And that is using a timeout. Once the guns have happened, they've done nothing. Absolutely nothing. And that's not good enough. The pistols, yeah, they got a little bit of damage. They got a lot of bit of damage in one round, but overall, you want to stop the momentum of Timbermen here and now before it gets out of hand. You have the opportunity to hold the lead. But they're not going to do that, I don't think. I think they're just going to go for a buy up here and see what can happen. Yeah, they have the op. Yeah, they have the rifles. But EG.CD side is having trouble finding any potency. I know it's still early in the half, but that's the point. It's early in the half, but late in the game. You can't allow Timbermen to get off to the races here. You can't allow Timbermen to get this kind of a momentum and tie things up, because you're also going to be broke into the next round if you're EG. This is a very critical round. Timbermen have a lot of cash already built up on this T side. EG are in a very tumultuous spot. They have to be very careful. And I think what they need is that opping presence of Junior to start things off.
They do. Not taking a risky fight or an aggressive posture. It is taking it towards long this time around. It's up top of the flower pot. Walco, though, might be the one with first contact yet again. This time he's in towards the long bathrooms. As I say that, he falls away. Timbermen a lean towards A as they start to slowly take control of the sands/bathrooms side of things. But in actuality, that was just to get Droid into position. Now the rest of the squad is grouping up towards B, congregating for a monster play, and EG are playing hands off on the B side proper. They're instead just holding water. This will be a free take for Timbermen if they play their cards right.
Molotov to try and delay. Snap rather clearing into water, but he is washed out by Hext. Up towards Pillar. Timberman ambulating upon the site. Look at the lurk from Droid. Where's Droid? Where is Droid? Is he going up under? Yeah, he is, I think. I think he's coming... Oh, no, he's coming from A side. He's got a backstab on both. Shane's got another one. Dare with the strike.
It's 5 kills in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, if you blinked, you missed them all.
That was a massive... I think Droid lined up 2 in the up towards heaven.
Yeah, he got 2 on the bank on the jump up flank because he just walked all the way down.
And again, I talked about it. Droids rotates. His flanks have been very hit and miss. That one's definitely a hit. His team buys enough time, and they make mincemeat of the EG defense, the EG retaking squad. It compels the CT side into a half buy. And again, you mentioned it, EG have been completely absent on this CT side. They've lost now 5 rounds in a row and have given Timbermen a tied ball game.
It is quite simply not good enough from EG. Nobody watching for the flank at all. There's too many gaps. Too many lapses in judgment right now. They're being exploited on every one. Another heavy B presence from EG. And timbermen walk into an open A site. Junior's up long, nothing he can do. Walco and Khan, nothing he can do. Rotation's way too far away. Double molly into bank to really put the pressure on anybody who might be sitting there. Walco cleaned up by a lurking Snav, holding for the rotations. Junior should be meeting his maker. Never mind, Junior actually wins that fight. So might as well try and do some damage in this round, but timbermen's economy are becoming a Leviathan. Becoming very, very hard to deal with.
Did he save had a rifle? Rush with the MP9 finds one, finds two. Frankie gets the trade. Hex does find one more. Okay, there's the damage we were asking for. The op will be recovered, but 4 kills, you know what? That's okay. It does put somewhat of a dent into this T-side economy. Also gets them dang close to winning it. But dang close is only good enough in horseshoes and hand grenades, and EG were playing a far more complicated game than that. We do have a full buy on deck. We have the kits, we have the utility, we have the rifles, we have the op for Junior. We need to see Junior come alive on the Opera's Playground on Overpass. He's had a decent showing thus far. He should be the standout star on this CT side, not the second frag to that of Hexed.
He needs to be taking first contact, too. He's not. He's never in a position where he's realistically going to be the first point of contact. Here in Khan, it's a very awkward angle, and he's going to miss that shot. He's going to back away, too. He should not be overstaying his welcome there. Cannot be punished. Needs to stay alive at this point. But this one, very difficult dare. Dodges death with that contact out towards Toxic. But look at the flank from Walco. This is the first bit of initiative we've really seen from EG in this half. He's gone for a bit of info, and he's got a good idea of what's going to happen. Frankie, however, is lurking. Was droid a couple of rounds ago. This time it's Frankie to creep up towards Sands. Hex to Toxic Barrels to reveal his position. He's molly out of position, but he still does find the first before he is finished off by Shane. Trying to get on towards Psych, get the bomb down. Dare taking some damage. Junior looking for a shot, nothing to be seen. George with a lineup, does some damage, but he can't get the kill. Walco mops up his mess. As we enter a 3v3 situation, Nade can do in Snav, and it will dunk and damage onto Shane. Rush here towards short, but the flank from Frankie, is it expected? Is it anticipated? Is it looked for? It's not even going to matter. EG are playing retake. They're all towards Water and Monster.
Steps are hurt as well. Junior finds one, Junior finds two. And that is the double-edged sword that is the lurk. I keep on talking about Droid because he used to do it so often. That is the ugly side of his lurks. It's where it's like you're just out in the middle of nowhere. You're way too late. The bulk of your squad's already down. And you have to show your hand before the flank really becomes a factor. And then you're kind of just stuck on the back foot. That is the ugly side. That's what happens more often than not. Timbermen have done a good job of shoring up their lurks and their timeliness on the flanks. But every once in a while, a missed opportunity does arise. 11-11, EG still have the op in hand. Timbermen, though, as we mentioned, their coffers were quite deep. They'll dip into their savings here and now. They're actually quite low now as well. Only one player above 2K or at 2K, that's Shane. Everybody else is below that threshold. And EG, if they can win this round, they might be able to reset this T-side economy.
It's a good spot for EG to have. They can reset the T's if they win, but at the same time, they're also in danger of being reset. It's a swing round in round number 23, and we're so close to the 16th round here for either of these two teams. It's a very precarious position. Both teams on a cliff's edge. Junior, blinded, caught on retreat. Snav with the spam. The op finds zip, zero, nada, zilch. Walco holding in the one and done. Gets the first, still alive and kicking. Second flash, and he's going to be run down by Shane, who doubles it up. On to Rush, trying to play around the APC. Shane's had himself a very good map. 20-9, as a matter of fact, tied for top of the server with Hexed. He's been incredibly good so far. And this is a save call from EG. They've got to call the retreat again.
You hate to see it. And I will say, we talked about Junior having to be the difference maker, having to be the first point of contact. He's at least trying to do that. Went for the aggressive play towards bathrooms. The issue is he's kind of alone. There's no one supporting him. He's working his way around these flashes, around these smokes as best he can, but there's nothing in response from his team to give him the edge, to give him the opportunity. And as you can tell, he's kind of just forced into an awkward duel where he was caught on the cross out of the bathrooms. No real chance there for him to shine. So we need to see not just Junior being the spear point of this team, but also being grounded with the rest of this team. He needs to slot in. They need to play around him, because they can't afford to let him fall like he did in that one.
Yeah, they call a timeout here to talk things over. There's a lot to talk about. There's been a lot to talk about this whole entire half. They've won one round this entire half so far. Timbermen have won 7.
6 in a row, right?
Not quite, because there was that one. Oh, yeah, it was 6 in a row, then the gap, and then this last round. Yep. 6-1-1.
When you isolate around like that, it really hurts.
Yep. At least they saved 2 guns. That's something, but it's not much. They're going to be able to buy around it. Still in the danger zone, though. No op for Junior, which really does hurt you on Overpass CT side. So many things you can do with the op. So many different angles you can put the op into a position to get that first pick. And that hasn't been the case for EG right now. You want to see that op getting that fountain control, long control, something towards B. Flash it in, take the contact, take a shot back away, hold towards divider, take up a different position, buddy up with a rifle, play the trades, play the bait and switch too. You bait an player into the op with a rifle.
What's Junior
absolutely
doing?
Great, but what is
completely
he?
Blindsided. He was a divider. Just got shot in the side of the head. Walco trying to bail his team out, finds 2 in response. Shane trades it out eventually. Will they expect the second player in con? That's the question. I don't think he's been spotted yet. He will finally make his presence known. Rush only good for 1. Back to 2 versus 2, and Droid on A is totally unexpected around the APC. He finds the second on a George, who's kind of been reasonably mitigated as well throughout this map. It leaves just hexed. He's been a heavy hitter, but a 1 versus 2 is a tall order. No utility used either, just 1 flash. He will isolate the first. Well done. Shane taken down, but he still needs more, and again, he has no information, no luxury of it. He knows that Droid is tagged. Time is beginning to become a factor. Rotate around, walking forward. It's Droid in the very same angle. It's behind the APC that he finds the headshot, and he finds the 13th for Timbermen, no less. They are inching ever closer to sending us to Vertigo.
They're really starting to take control of this map here, Timbermen. But this also was something that played out on Mirage towards the tail end, where Timbermen got a late lead. Although it was much closer than what looks to be a 14-11 scoreline. It was 14-13. Big difference from 14-11. This is getting to a dangerous position for EG. In a situation they should not be finding themselves. 5-7 isolated out tree, though, will get 1. At least it's something. Junior caught in rotation. Plucked away by Snav. That's just a one and done again from the CT side. We've seen so many one and dones here from EG.
George
on the CT
finds
side.
1. Maybe something. We saw Timbermen win, what, 2 half buys on their CT side? It's EG's turn to get 1, I would say. We'll see if they can cash in their tokens, though. Only a slight lead as of now, 4 versus 3. Timbermen, though, they don't have a lot of control to be spoken of. They're playing it as a unit, a death ball. And it looks like they're going to go over towards B. They're just going to slowly clear their angles. They have 50 seconds to work with and some utility, sure, but if EG play with 2 players, a crossfire or something similar, they might be able to do this one.
Got some con control coming in from Rush. George has that AK. He's over on B. He's looking to get some damage done. Flash pops. George won't peek. He'll play off of Hex contact, who actually does get one. George's going to back up towards short. 3v2. Good flashbang in. Shane's blinded, but he still wins the fight against George. Molotov for short as Rush and Walco will get isolated. Walco 1 into the 1v1. Bomb down safe by Shane. Walco all the way back. He's completely retreated. But I think he's just trying to bait and switch, go back down con and in towards B. Shane's going to clear his backside, expecting some of these shenanigans. Although it is still planted wide open for heaven, I believe, on that side of the pillar. It should be more than fine, and a 10-second defuse is not going to favor Walco. Neither will a tool with a 5.7 at this range. He picks up the AK, taps it, tries to bait at the peak. Crisp from Shane, not a headshot, but he got the damage he needed. There's the 14th on the board for the Timbermen. EG. How do they find a way to stop this?
They've been exploited so thoroughly towards the bathrooms, and I don't think they put 2 players in the bathrooms once.
No, they haven't.
We've seen Timbermen just, they walk up, they got in towards bathrooms once, just shot Junior in the side of the head, dispatched him towards the divider. Just play 2 towards bathrooms. Dismantle either A, the lurk that sits there, or B, the outright push that sits there. Do something to address some of the major concerns. Now with that said, it's not going to be too impactful in this one. They are going far more hands-on over towards A. The bulk of this play is towards B, and Frankie, no business winning that duel, but Hex spray goes awry, and that gives the opening to Timbermen. Frankie lives on a sliver of HP, 1 to be precise, but he snabs away that main advantage.
Junior, lineup potential, still gets the first, that's good. This is what the op needs to do. It has a double up with Walco. There's also support from Rush. Walco, speaking of, wins that fight, drops the bomb in playground. That is the kind of opping that EG needs, the kind of 1-2 punch they need. And a flash from Junior facilitates Walco's escape, and he'll back in towards Con, group up with Rush this time as the bomb is recovered by the Timbermen. Initiative taken by EG. It's paid off with a man advantage. Walco still holding, spots the cross, he goes for more. Goes for a third, he's triple dipping. And he's grabbed it all. Frankie's on 1 HP. He needs the headshot. He finds it. But still, he's got George on the flank to deal with. Junior out towards longside Bath. There should be no way Frankie gets out of this alive. There should be no way Frankie even gets a bomb plant. But Junior's stuck towards bathrooms. He's not watching long. Frankie might have slipped the gap. Junior's back on it. And he gets the finisher. 12 rounds to EG. They stave off map points for Timbermen. More of that, please, EG. More of that opping play. More of that aggressiveness. Oh, Hex got CSGO. He got 99 and forward.
Yeah, he did. That's what we wanted to see, though. We're talking about it. We need that spear point of Junior, but not on an island. That's exactly the support we were talking about. A player to play the bait and switch, to throw utility for one another, to just duo up is the best way to put it. Very well done from those two. And they send Timbermen to a very, very conservative call. It's a save. To a Tech 9, a couple P250s, and 1 Deagle for the Timbermen. EG, in a very solid spot to tie it up at 13. Frankie, though, with Tech 9's in a very good spot to catch Hex getting a little bit too aggressive. And EG, you can't go about face checking when you don't know your opponent's economic situation.
George stuck on side around pillar, swings out wide into multiple players. He sprays down 3 of 4. Rush now has to do it alone. He's got the first, the bomb down at his feet, and reinforcements coming through. Frankie looking to do more damage here. He does the damage, but not the kill. EG claw within 1 round. They seem to have patched the gap, but is it enough to get it over the line? That was against pistols, and they still lost 2 players. Now it's against rifles again. Still, good spray down from George. Those kind of kills are great for the confidence. But Timbermen, they've had the confidence on this map. And Shane, top of the board, 25 now. Frankie right behind at a much more even mid to bottom point for the Timbermen. Junior aggressive around Fountain, has help from Walco. He'll fall off with that flash. And George with a dry fight onto Dare. That's the kind of George we've been missing in this map.
I will say, it's not George the dry fight, it's Dare with the dry fight.
True.
He's the one peeking into it. And, you know, with the op, you can kind of do that. It's an aggressive call, it can work out, it makes sense, but George is quick with it. Very well done from him to find that opening onto a critical piece of the Timberman equation. X now spotting a second over towards short. EG looking well poised to tie things up at 14 a pop.
Five-four, man advantage EG as the time ticks down under a minute. Re-smoke towards Monster from George. The push from the in. Flashes go! Frankie traded out, but Shane has another. Junior, aggressive in towards pit, backs away. Bridge side as the bomb attempts to go down. A peek up top! And Junior with a no-scope attempt on the last. Can't come up with it. Rush will, however. And we're all tied at 14 all. Still very, very close, but not quite done just yet. No timeouts from the looks of things from either side, although I don't think EG necessarily need it right now. They're starting to patch the holes. They're starting to find the way. Timbermen now, the ones who need something to restart their engine. A jump start. Or maybe if they're a manual transmission, somebody can get out and push. See if they can get it going. But it's Deagles. Glock for Shane, Tech9 for Frankie. Vest on the very same, but no utility at all. They've had some success on the half buys and the ecos. But this one, Nate, this is asking an immense amount.
It's asking too much. But we've seen what they could do in that first half with their half buys. I also want to highlight there's one thing that's a certainty in this one. It's all 30. Just like map number 1, we are going to go the distance at minimum. Of course, that overtime could be a possibility. EG, though, looking to right their wrongs, make up for their mistakes, looking to get their 15th. Droid, so much control, doesn't matter. Junior finds 2, 3, rush to 4th. It's just an outright shutout. It's just Frankie. Sure, he's been hot in this series at 21 kills currently, but with just a Tech9 versus the entirety of the EG squad, it does not seem feasible. Doesn't have the bomb either. He could maybe find one if he's lucky. That would require a heck of a lot of luck. Okay, there we go. George taken down. Walco gets the trade. Still an acceptable loss for this CT side of EG, and they steal away the lead at a critical juncture.
It's exactly the same as Mirage, except the scoreline was a little more disparate in favor of Timbermen. 14-13, EG won 16-14. Here, 14-11, 15 all.
It's gotta be a match medic. What happened?
It has to be a match medic, surely. Things will fix themselves, folks. Don't worry. Oh yeah, somebody definitely DC'd because I see Axed over on the left side.
It says Axed, but there's no pause.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm okay. There we go. We're all set.
Yeah, it just bugged for a second there.
We're all good.
It was quick. You never see a match medic that quick.
No, what was that?
I don't know. Either way, Junior, he's found his confidence. He's looking for the opening, but he's also learned to never overstay his welcome. Falling back quickly. You have an undefined player on the map.
It's Shane.
Shane. The X Factor, the undefined.
I think it's Shane.
I think it's number
It's
6?
6. Yeah, and that's Shane.
It says Shane. Okay, you know what? The HUD is messed up. We'll see what it says in the kill feed. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
You know, Junior has the
6 on
option.
CT side.
Oh.
What? That's weird. I'm confused.
Axe must be number 3. That must be what it is. Okay, either way, Junior posed on the angle, just catches Dare walking into it. Again, they're trying to dry peek things, and that doesn't work against the likes of Junior. That is another big opening to find, and a big advantage for EG. Timbermen, do they commit into this A site? There are, what, 3, maybe even 4 players here? I think there's 3 here.
There's 3 players in the George flank.
It's looking so good for EG.
Oh yeah, they should have this unlocked. There should be no reasonable way they lose this. They also have Hexed probing in through short. Counter utility being thrown. Rush with a trade on the snap. Junior holding back dice boxes. Molotov's in. Walco with a flash assist. Destroyed in a 1v4. He's got the first, but there's two more to find coming from behind. And a rush behind that smoke. George sprayed down. Trade from Hexed. GGWP, EG Black take it 16-14 map 1 and map 2 in comeback fashion. It wasn't easy, it wasn't clean, but they got the job done, and that is what matters, Nate.
Wasn't easy, wasn't clean, definitely wasn't